because she said she had a measurement. So, I was saying,
When it says
Yes.
But to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here.
Here.
Here. Here.
Okay, we, under items for action, we're gonna have to add letter C, resolution 03-2026, going to Gino Powell, deputy clerk. That's the only thing under the president's statement.
Do you have to do that?
Yes, because there's nothing in writing.
Okay.
So, I'll explain more when we get there,
Okay.
but yes. And I'll explain why.
Okay.
I was gonna call you earlier and tell you that. But I'll explain.
So, the approval of the agenda,
Support.
motion is made and supported for approval of agenda, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes?
No.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks for moving on before I finish the other one, Phil. So there's nobody on there for any public statement of any kind? Okay. Consent agenda?
So, support.
Consent agenda, there's a motion made and supported of the consent agenda, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Hey, no unfinished business, new business.
Motion to enter public hearing for ordinance, public intox 2026-02 at 7:32.
Support.
All right, motion's been made and supported. Those in favor?
Aye.
Against? I think it's for that, so. Since we're moving along before I'm reading the stuff, let me get caught up. This is the public intox that our police chief wants so bad. But we like him for that. I assume everybody's had a chance to read this. Yes?
Yes,
No?
yes,
Maybe
yes,
so?
yes. Read it.
Everybody likes what's in here? Likes how it's written? The police chief likes it?
Yes, sir.
Everybody speaks when I'm not reading the stuff, but nobody listens when I'm talking. Got it, we're moving along. So, nothing? We're all good with this?
Yeah, I think it covers everything. Explains. Really surprised we didn't have anything in place before.
Well, nothing that's specific like our police chief wanted. To make his job easier. And that's what we're here for, to make his job easier.
Streamline things.
So if there's no more discussion, we just need somebody to vote to exit public hearing. Somebody can make a motion to approve the ordinance.
Exit public hearing 2602.
Second.
Motion is made to exit public hearing and supported. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Go. Now we need a motion.
Pretty cool. Make a motion to adopt public intoxication order 2602.
Support.
As written.
Motion is made and supported to accept 2602 public intoxication.
Do a roll call that.
Roll call, we're roll calling everything.
Navar.
Aye.
Danner.
Yes.
Yes.
Warner.
Wenzel.
Yes.
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 Kamal?
Alright, the public hearing ordinance 2026, or sorry, the ordinance 2026-02 on public intoxication has passed.
Yep. Moving on to the public hearing ordinance 2026-03, dark paraphernalia.
Motion to enter public hearing for ordinance 2026-03, drug paraphernalia at 7:35.
Motion is made to enter public hearing for 2026-03, drug paraphernalia. All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Okay. I assume everybody's read this one.
The only question I have regarding this one would be, since it does not specifically state cannabis as an exception to the paraphernalia, is that something that needs to be spelled out because it's legal, or, because I mean,
No.
I believe state law supersedes, is that what you explained last time?
yeah,
So just to reiterate, so if you've read the recreational marijuana law in Michigan, actually it goes all the way back to the medical marijuana law, they had it in there as well. They have a provision within that law that states that if the state of Michigan or if any other political subdivision tries to pass a law or ordinance that is in conflict with recreational or medical marijuana act in Michigan, that law becomes null and void. So that law as regards to marijuana and use of marijuana and possession of marijuana supersedes all other any laws that are passed going forward.
so in theory, the state would, in circumstances, supersede any ordinance we put in play.
Correct. That would happen at the court level. If we were to try to say, utilize this ordinance to enforce upon someone who has marijuana paraphernalia on their possession, a judge would throw it out immediately because it contradicts the Michigan Recreational and Medical Marijuana Acts.
So the fact that it's not spelled out isn't going to change the fact that a court of law would chuck it anyways.
Yes.
Is that good enough?
Motion to exit public hearing at 7:37 PM.
Support. Motion is made and supported to exit public hearing on 2026-03, drug paraphernalia. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're now out of public hearing.
Make a motion to adopt 2026-03 drug paraphernalia ordinance.
Support.
Motion made to adopt 2026-03, drug paraphernalia. Roll call, please.
Sheetsy,
Yes.
Trudell,
Yes.
Wendell,
Yes.
Warner,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
Navar.
Aye.
Yes.
Drug paraphernalia 2026-03 will be adopted. Item C, OHM, plant and proposal. You are up.
With this, anytime we have an OHM, thing going on is everybody's favorite engineer, Nolan Casino.
Crowd goes wild.
This proposal is actually two projects we combined into one for efficiency. Both of them are, for regulatory compliance. The WMP, Water Master Plan is for state compliance. That project entails inventorying the water utility system, updating the GIS, doing a condition assessment, determining which assets within the water utility are most critical, and coming up with a capital improvement plan for future projects. Another part of that is the water modeling. So we go into the field, do some hydrant testing, bring in all the characteristics of the water system, what the water power levels are, what the pumps, produce, and put that into a hydraulic model, test it for capacity, pressure, fire flow capacity throughout the system, and then identify other projects for the capital improvement plan. The other project is the OEA. That's an EPA requirement that is new as of 2018. This is due every 5 years to the EPA. that looks at essentially the security of your water utility. You know, what happens if there's a natural disaster, a plan for, benevolent acts, what you would do under those circumstances, possible gaps in security, cybersecurity, IT technologies, things of that nature. Both these are due every 5 years, so we do them in conjunction, provide efficiency. One thing about the water master plan that I'd like to update is we are creating a interactive dashboard for that portion of the project, right? So that will be tied to the GIS that you guys have already invested in and created. And what that dashboard provides is an efficiency. So over the course of the next 5 years, before the next one's due, we can continuously update that dashboard with projects that are done, whether it's the USDA projects or improvements at any of the wells, whatever that may be, we can track that, update it, and then in 5 years, in 2020 or 2031, when this is due again, we just submit the updated dashboard. So there's a huge efficiency compared to just providing a static PDF report that sits on the shelf.
Certainly.
And two things about it. Nolan and OHM and the DPW work together quite a bit with updating the GIS. Whenever we go do something, it gets shot in and updated, and we'll continue to do that with the water system. When it comes to this modeling, the important thing, one of the big things about the modeling and the cool thing is, like, when we had that water main on East Broad, that blew, we were able to figure out exactly what happened by running these models, by seeing that it was when we drained the water tower, tracing the water hammer that eventually got to East Broad and blew it. So this is a way that we can prevent, before we do something, actually, we can run these models and see what the system will most likely do. And this could be this is a really cool tool that we can potentially save a lot of headaches and money by using.
Doesn't the system help make funding, us eligible for funding down the road as well?
Yeah, so for the water master plan, if you're not in compliance, you're no longer eligible for state level or federal level funding. So if we wanted to go after state revolving funds for future projects, like the USDA project or something, similar to large scale project, we would not be eligible if we don't do this.
And we will cover it more later, but this will be paid for out of the capital improvement fund. So this won't come out of the yearly budget. This will come out of the funds that we have already saved up. So the total cost on this, is $92,000?
Yeah, 92 is the change.
So it's a massive project. It's quite the undertaking, but it makes us eligible for funding, for grants, and if it can help save headaches, and we have to do it anyways. So I mean, it's not. There's a lot of benefits to it. It's not just one of those bureaucratic things that we have to do. This is something that we can take advantage of, and OHM and the village already does take advantage of this modeling in the GIS.
Yeah, we completed the modeling portion of this back in 2020, 2021. That is actually how we identified the streets that were going to update the water main as part of the USDA project. That in conjunction with, road condition ratings and sewer condition ratings and other things, but we use that information to say, these are the areas we need to target in water main. How does that overlap with the rest of the assets and utilities of the village? And we were able to narrow down on those projects.
So I might be reaching because it's a water project, but does that include drainage?
It does not.
I mean, I didn't figure, but.
Yeah. And we'll get you an update on that.
Okay.
Yeah. Any questions? It's a big project.
It was, I read
Yeah.
through it, I was like, wow.
If you guys are around there, bottom out the fire station, you wanna step out there and look at that water map, all the water lines and the 2-inch and 4-inch and all that stuff,
Sure.
you'd be surprised.
And it is updated also in GIS,
Yeah.
testing GIS, which you don't really have. I have access to.
I say, I don't think we have access to that.
You can click and see what everything is, and
Yep.
size-wise of water mains and street conditions and pacer ratings, things like that.
I know the fire department's happy
Good
on a lot of
place
the
to
projects
place
we've
right
done so
there.
far.
Yeah.
Well, that Nolan's masterpiece ain't right there.
Yeah, there you go, nice water map.
Our water system, all of the pipes.
Great. Yeah.
We're making one for Philadelphia Fire Department, so we'll make another project. Make do.
There you go.
So if we don't have it, do we have any more questions on this?
Motion to approve the OHM project of the WAMP and AWEA proposal.
Support.
Motion is made to approve the OHM AMP and WEA proposal. All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes? Motion passes. Okay. On to going into public hearing, 2026-27 budget recommendation.
Motion to enter public hearing for 2026, 2027 budget recommendation.
Support.
Motion is made to enter in public hearing, 2026-27 budget recommendations, 7:45.
All right, if you want to turn to the TV screen, Troy taught me how to do this without connecting with that long cable system.
Thank you, Troy. That's why I'm here.
To make your job easier.
So the administrative staff, myself, department heads, village frontline staff, village council, well collaborated and developed the following budget recommendations for the village of Chestnut. We put this narrative together so we can look at any changes, any major changes from financial year 2025-26. So last financial fiscal year. If you don't know, our fiscal year runs March 1st until February 28th. So it starts in a couple weeks. We'll start with the general fund. Revenues, where we get our revenues. We get it from tax dollars. And there's some state sharing of sales tax and things like that. It also is what the marijuana licensing and state revenue sharing for marijuana goes into. The tax revenue, the projection is that it will raise slightly, not crazy. We go to the Treasury's projections for state revenue sharing, is where we get those numbers. The marijuana license fee revenue is projected we will have less licenses this year. I know that for a fact, so it's not really just a projection. We'll also have a decrease in state revenue sharing, seeing that one of the dispensaries is closed. So I'm guessing we will be short about $130,000 from where we were last year. I shouldn't say guessing, projecting. So the only real projects that we have coming out of the general fund this year is $10,000 to remodel Cole Park bathrooms, to get those open. And the general fund will have a projected fund balance at the end of the year of about $75,000. Major street funds, the revenue projected for major street fund is taken from a formula developed by the Michigan Department of Transportation. It's called Act 51. They calculate based on how many local roads and local streets and major streets that you have, basically, and then they times it by population, and it's this big formula they have. This recommendation sets aside $50,000 for potential street rehab programs. Also provides $20,000 to install a manhole at the corner of Liberty and Main Street. We've talked about that a bunch in these meetings. Recommendation also provides $15,000 to create sidewalk inventory. OHM will work on all three of those projects with us. We're projecting excess revenue over expenditures of just over $30,000. For local streets, it's the same thing. It's MDOT formula for Act 51. It's also, there's a local street fund that you get from taxes, and there is the money we get from the county for their street millage that they have. Projects there is a $10,000 repair to a sinkhole on Thayer Street, and $50,000 for potential street rehab programs. Both major street and local streets, those $50,000 rehab programs, those are mainly it's chip and seal.
Yes.
For for roads that we've done in the last few years, you chip and seal, you get another, I don't know how many years out of them, potentially.
Yeah, it's extra layer of I don't know how you want to say it, but you invest in these roads. We're going to target roads that were done in like 2015, 2018 street projects. You put these chip and seals on top of them, it kind of kills the cracks, give you some extra traction on the road, and then as far as longevity, I can't speak to that. Roads aren't my thing, but it is a proven method to increase longevity of roads that were recently paved.
I believe the last one we did was Clark Street, and you might remember when they lay down that layer of, I want to say gravel, but sort of crete, and it's annoying and it's dusty, but it does help the roads last longer.
Yeah.
And it's only an annoyance for a couple weeks.
Yeah, and it's just protecting the investments you've already made.
Right.
Not that it's a lot of money, but where does the county millage come in?
That goes into local.
Okay, that's the local.
Yep. And we have both local and major streets in town, so that also would go towards major streets. So M57 is not a major street. It's not in that. Major would be Line Street is a major street. Brady is, and local streets, Lansing Street, Owasso Street. So they are broken up. It says major and local, but they're all our roads within the village.
Yeah, no, I just wasn't sure exactly what pool of money.
You can go to either one.
Okay.
So we're projecting 96,435 in excess of revenue over expenditures for local streets. Both of those funds, as we build them, that will help pay for these projects that we have in 2027 that we're lining up now. We also will have $950,000. I'll talk about that more later. As the second half of that voted street bond that sold on Thursday, we'll get that money March 5th. That will go towards these street projects as well. So that was $950,000. That was part 2 of that. If you remember the voted street millage, was it 3 years ago, 4 years ago? Sewer fund revenues are projected. This is all done by billing and septic receiving based on historical data and current prices. So this is all really done by billing. Water and sewer rate study guide that we're following. Sewer rates will go to $20.45 per unit. Expenditures. Recommendation provides for $55,000 in new equipment for the wastewater treatment plant. This is for lab equipment, replacement pumps. Pumps are unbelievably expensive, and a control panel. On the distribution side of the sewer fund, $40,000 for new equipment, including pumps and other items. $9,000 for purchase of a three-way valve. We're projecting $135,158 in excess revenues over expenditures. That money will go towards future sewer projects as well. We're trying to build that fund to pay for. We have a few. There's a retaining wall we're looking at installing. That money will go towards that. And there's some updating of some of the pump houses. Lift stations. Thank you. Water fund revenue. This is again done by billing. That's where the money comes from water, the water fund. The water rate will be at $10.52 per unit, and that is to go along with the rate study that we did 2 years ago. The water fund, the budget provides $45,000 for localized water system maintenance, such as valve and hydrant replacement. We do $45,000 every year. Like clockwork, we'll replace a combination of 3 valves or hydrants with that money. In the last 5 years, our hydrants we've replaced so many hydrants that weren't working. That list is dwindling. Everybody has fire control at this point, though. If your hydrant in front of your house is not working, the one across the street is. So we've really narrowed down all of those areas. Phil, would you feel confident in that?
Oh, yeah.
The valves moving a little slower on it. We figured the hydrants were the more important thing, but we are chipping away at the valves And those, of course, are when there's a water main break, we can isolate that area, shut that area down, fix the water main, or any issue, and then open it back up. We've budgeted the $95,000 to create a water asset master plan. We just talked about that with Nolan. That money will come out of the capital improvement fund that we've been building over the years. $11,500 for new equipment and non-capitalized assets, including hydrant flushers. Those help at areas that are not looped, so dead ends. We have a hydrant at the end of it. We can flush it out, and that should help with pressure and water quality to those houses that are near the end of a dead end. We're projecting $350,000 in excess revenues over expenditures. That seems like a massive number. It is. That money will go towards bond payments when we get our USDA funding and have to start making bond payments for all of the projects that we've talked about for the last 2 years now, including water main upgrades all over town. Do you remember the number, Nolan, the total number in there? Just wrote it down for the projects that we're going to do. I got it, I'm sorry. So $4.7 million in water main upgrades and lead line service replacements.
That includes the roads as well, that number.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's for specifically to the water utility. It's 3.44 million, I believe.
Thank you. Equipment fund and the equipment fund generates revenues. What we do is we buy a piece of equipment, and every time we drive it, we pay ourselves rent. That's where the revenue for the equipment fund comes from. We pay ourselves rent, that way we have money when it comes time to buy new equipment. Every time we use a Vector truck, there's an hourly rate the state sets, and that's what we pay ourselves. We put it in the equipment fund, and that's how we can keep buying equipment. I think in the past they found that by trying to hopefully put money away, they just never did. So this is how they run the system. So that's where these revenues come from. The budget is proposing that we buy the DPW a new truck at the cost of $38,000. We'll be replacing a truck from 2001. They do a great job on getting those trucks to run forever. We're also proposing $38,000 for a new vacuum trailer. We have a vac truck, the trailer is a smaller vac truck that can get us into tighter spaces. We can use it for the wastewater treatment plant. We can also use it if a water main breaks, knock on wood that it doesn't, but it's just a much more maneuverable trailer. You can get into tighter spaces. We have 10,000 uses for it. We're projecting a excess of $9,884 revenues over expenditures for the equipment fund. When it comes to the fee schedule, if you don't know what the fee schedule is, this is what the village sets all its prices, everything from water rates to what it costs to come to the office and copy, use our copy machine. Nothing major changing on here other than we talked about the water. The water rate goes to $10.15 per 1,000 gallons. The sewer rate goes to $20.45 per 1,000 gallons. Other than that, I did raise the camping rate a few dollars. I also went through it because they don't have pennies anymore. I just tried to make everything even, 5 cents because I guess there's no pennies anymore. So the campsites, went from $33 to $35 a day. Those are the only changes really besides the water. And the water and sewer follow the rate study we did 2 years ago. So that is the budget. Anybody have any questions?
I mean, some of my questions are rates on it.
Yeah.
You can look, St. Charles is doing theirs, Montrose is doing theirs, Owasso did theirs already.
So it's difficult, and people always bring up other towns, and it's fair to do that. I would also say, I don't know Owasso's problems, so I don't know what their rates are set at or why they're set like that. I don't know St. Charles' problems. So I try to hone in on what our issues are, and I just, these are our problems, and this is the best way we know how to fix it, and it's not great, obviously, it's not, I don't want the rates to go up, and everybody in this room pays these rates, so it's part of getting these projects done, so we still have a water system. It's nice when we didn't raise rates and everybody is happy about it. It does not, it makes the problem worse 5 years down the road, especially when COVID hits and now everything is 40% more. I think the best way to do this is to raise as small as you can, consistently. I think it's the only way to do this properly and responsibly. Because costs will just keep going up, and if you don't, all of a sudden you're 5 years behind, and then something crazy happens, and now you're really 15 years behind when it comes to the prices. So, I get it, everybody's gonna feel it, it's not ideal, but it's the only way to keep a water system going, we have to keep improving it. Everybody benefits, no matter what streets we're fixing, everybody will benefit in the end, as long as we keep maintaining this system. And it's not, these aren't numbers we picked out of a hat, you know, these went through a pretty extensive, how long did that take? 6 months at Phillips?
That is at least 6 months in Baker Tilly, yeah.
That rate study, I mean, felt like hundreds of hours of looking at this and finding the rates that'll help pay for, the improvements we do, so. Any other questions? Or discussion, sorry. So we did not exit public hearing.
Motion to exit public hearing fiscal year 26-27 budget recommendations.
801.
Support.
Motion's been made to exit the budget hearing, 26-27 budget recommendations, 801, supported. All those in favor?
Aye.
We are exited.
Motion to accept budget recommendations 2026.
Support.
Motion's made to accept, and supported to accept the budget recommendations fiscal year 2026-27. All those in favor?
You need roll call?
Roll call, yeah.
Yes.
I
Yes.
stopped. Yes.
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 Next on the list, resolution 02-2026.
That's what you just did.
No, you need Marty.
Marty.
Sorry. Sorry. Next on the list, Marty Mayer is requesting the closure of Lincoln Street on June 6th, 2026.
Yeah, thanks.
Floor is yours, Marty.
I had graduation party. I did it 3 years ago. I'm glad I picked this meeting. You know me, I love budgets. It's really fun.
Numbers.
This is fun to me. This is great. We can sit here and talk budget all night. I'm really good at this.
Well, this doesn't need him to make us more.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys really want to get into budgets, I am all about this.
You need to make us more.
There we go, good job.
And that's a little harder for us.
Support. All right.
Motion made and supported.
Hey, we need to know times.
Oh, yeah. So, it'll be less than 20. It'll be less than
Yes, they have to
24
go
hours.
as part of the motion.
Yeah, no,
What
it'll
time?
be less than 24 hours because they usually come in at around, so it'll be Friday afternoon, probably around 4 when they'll do it. And then they usually have the time gone by between 11 and 12. The next day.
Sure.
So yeah. Yep.
Okay. So we'll say 3 p.m. on the 6th to 12 p.m. on the 7th?
Right, that. Right about your time is good, yeah. I think the party isn't until 5, 8. So, somewhere in there.
Is that our invitation?
Absolutely. Done right. Yeah.
Bring your card.
Bring it. No, you didn't have to bring a card. That's okay.
So 3 p.m. Friday to noon.
No, it'll be earlier probably. I mean, it'll probably be. Well, the party starts at 5 o'clock on Saturday, so they'll probably set up at 10. Saturday, probably between 10 and 11. If I was guessing, I can confirm that exact though.
So if we gave you from Saturday at 9 a.m. to midnight, Saturday,
Well, they won't have it done Saturday night.
It'll be Sunday.
It'd be Sunday morning. They come in Sunday morning to tear it down.
9 to 9.
Yeah, so it'd be like, yeah, it would be 24 hours.
Leave it to Marty. This is never usually this
See how he's playing with the numbers?
Yeah, that's the budget, you know.
He's gotta play with the numbers.
I did.
You delayed this,
I
this is
did.
on you.
Yeah, it was good. We were moving right along. Thanks, Sean.
We always have to include time. So, I will make a motion to close Lincoln Street on June 6th from 9 a.m. to Saturday or Sunday 9 a.m. Right?
Let's just say noon. We don't
I would say noon.
pick it up.
Okay. Noon to
And I
noon.
already wrote it down, so.
That's right. Perfect.
9 a.m. on the 6th, and noon on the 7th.
Noon on the 7th. Okay.
Beautiful.
Support.
Motion's been made to allow Marty to close Lincoln Street from June 6th, 9 a.m. to June 7th, 12 noon. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against?
I should vote no now.
Motion passed.
After all that,
All right, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Next time you have your budget meeting, please tell me. Come up. It's,
Hey, Marty, the fire is done, so we don't have to bring the fire trucks in.
yeah, no, you won't have to worry about any fire. No, you won't worry about that. I'll let you cook any pizza.
Okay.
I'm doing pizza though. I'm doing pizza. And my smoke. All right, guys. Thank you.
Okay.
See ya.
Item C, Resolution 03-2026, appointing Tina Powell, Deputy Clerk.
So the reason for this, is by village general law. If it's township general law, it does allow Sam, and Mary Kay to appoint deputies. Village general law does not. I believe it used to, it does not anymore. And when going through this bond, paperwork, the bond attorney I called him and I said, I don't have, the clerk is unavailable right now. I have a deputy clerk. He says, I just need some minutes showing that Tina Powell was appointed. I said, well, in the past, we've always just done the deputy, or the clerk is appointed, the deputy clerk. And they looked into it, and they said, based on village general law, it looks like it's changed, and they need some sort of resolution from the council. So what we've done in the past was correct, but to do it correct, moving on, there just needs to be a resolution from council nominating Tina as the deputy clerk when Sam is unavailable.
I make a motion to appoint Tina Powell to deputy clerk. Sorry, Tina Wiles. Powell, is it still legal? Okay, Tina Powell to deputy clerk when Sam is unavailable.
And I would roll call Mr. Bell.
Czar.
Yes.
Danny.
Yes.
Marner.
Yes.
Michael.
Motion's been made to, yes. You guys just move on without listening to me.
Yes.
Don't know why I'm sitting
Yes,
here.
sorry.
Someone's got to sit there.
Just here, looking good. My job, sit here and look good, apparently.
You answer your next one, no meeting.
Alright, thank you, Tina.
Motion passed. Someone else want to say that?
We'll let it down.
Okay, committee reports. Beaky said infrastructure, no meeting. Finance administration, yeah, we had a meeting. We went over, paper, what did we look at? Stuff for the, the Heritage House.
Purchase agreement.
Purchase agreement of the Heritage House. Finalizing the paperwork.
So we're finalizing what we wanna do, so when we do decide to sell it, we have the paperwork in order to sell it, and it's ready to go. So we don't have a buyer or anything like that, and, we just wanna finalize paperwork before we can,
So is it listed?
nope.
Okay, so this is
No.
just all
We're
pretty.
just making sure we got everything, the paperwork correct, and then we can go.
Gotcha. Okay.
When we get somebody on the hook, we wanna
You
get
got
that. We don't wanna wait for paperwork.
it. and make sure everything's spelled out.
the way we want it. Public safety,
No meeting.
EA.
We had a meeting, the 11th, paid bills, talked about the military banners. Those are available if anybody wants to contact the DDA about getting a banner made up for their friends, family, or, that's
Can it be current soldiers too?
Yes, absolutely.
How much are they?
$50, I think.
I think they're more than that.
That was 150.
It might be, yeah, I think they're gonna finalize it, but I don't know if they're gonna.
I think they went up.
I don't wanna advertise the price.
That's just a note, sorry.
Very
Sean.
Sean, you're done, so you can put it.
The money just goes towards the banners though, and like, if we need to replace brackets on the post, things like that, the DDA is not making money on whatever the cost.
It's a pretty zero sum game for them, but it is really.
For sure.
They talked about replacing the, stones around the trees in the boulevard, but just pulling them out and then doing something different. I think it's, Zach should all came in, I think it's gonna look really good. Just from the description, and I think it's gonna improve everything quite a bit.
So,
I'll be at the next one, I promise. Oh, 2 in a row.
Chamber of Commerce,
There was no meeting.
Planning Commission,
No meeting.
Airport,
May I speak? No meeting.
Fire Board,
We had 6 rounds since last meeting, bringing a total of 23. The CPR class that was canceled on that Monday because of the fire out to the fairgrounds has been set for February 22nd at 6 o'clock out to the fire station. The blood drive that we had out there, the 5th and 6th with the snow they had, they did very good. They got 30 pints of blood. Like I said, March 3rd, some of us is going up to Saginaw for that pipeline training with all the, like DTE consumers and all that. It's got gas lines and fuel lines through the state of Michigan, so. And then, the next training is for March 1st and 2nd, where it's mandatory. All those guys gotta get their face masks tested to their face and everything else, so. And that is mandatory by the state too, so. And the next fire board meeting is March 11th at 6 o'clock.
alright, Task Force,
Nothing to report.
Parks,
No meeting.
council member statements, anybody?
Just the bowling team's going to regionals tomorrow and Thursday, so.
Congrats.
The only thing I want to say, I coached with those Coho kids. They had their state meet this past Sunday. A couple did well, medaled. One of our kids was ranked number 1 in a race, and she finished number 1. It was really good. So, really proud of some of those kids. Village staff reports, administrator report.
We'll start out with Thursday, February 12th, the village had the sale for part 2 of the voted unlimited tax general obligation bond. We talked about that briefly. Winning bid came from Huntington Public Capital Corporation, that's a member of Huntington Bank. Interest rate was 4.26%. We had 3 bids, we picked the lowest one when it comes to interest. They were all identical bids other than the interest. They came in pretty significantly lower. The close date for that money is March 5th. And like I said earlier, it'll be used for street repairs. Shout out to U Sports, who graciously donated $1,000 towards the baseball, softball field maintenance. So thank you for that donation. Kappa went to states this weekend and took 5th. I think it was 5th, which is crazy awesome. So shout out to Kappa. Sir Atwell, we have in the room today. Do you want to say anything?
Yeah, I can really briefly. My name is Belton Atwell, and I'm running to be your next state senator. And I think it's important to be connected to local elected officials. So I've been spending my last 2 months going around to all the different village council meetings, township meetings, city council meetings. Any meetings that elected officials are at, I've been there basically. I went to middle school in Chesaning. I went to Alvey Elementary School, which no longer exists. A lot of people in this room probably don't know what that is. And I graduated high school in Sebring, Florida. I also own a company called Stone Yard Landscape Center. You guys all get flyers in your mailboxes from me. We used to be over on the corner of Enderich and Burt Road. We're now on the corner of Gare Road and Bertrand Road with a brand new facility, last like going to Frank Luke, Michigan. And I got parts for everybody. If you guys have any questions for me, you can call me anytime.
Thank you. That's my Yep. We go to
Police chief report.
You have my report in your packet. I just want to highlight a couple of things since we've got plenty of time left. First off, the major thing I want to highlight in my activity, even though we're only 4 months into the current traffic grant from the Office of Highway Safety Plan that I wrote last year, I'm already writing the one for next year. So that's how state government works. I'm proud to say that I've been contacted by 3 other law enforcement agencies in Saginaw County who are coming on board with the grant. This has direct and indirect benefits to the village. The indirect benefit is because this is a traffic safety grant and we're attacking 4 of the major reasons for crashes in all of Michigan, that being distracted driving, impaired driving, speeding, and seatbelt use. We know that our residents don't just stay in the village of Chesaning. They travel outside of it, and a lot of it within Saginaw County. So the more agencies we get on board with this traffic grant, the safer the roads in Saginaw County will be. And that benefits us indirectly. And the village of Chesaning is the spearhead of this operation. I manage the grant, I write the grant, I distribute the grant, and everybody calls me with questions about the grant. So it kind of puts the village of Chesaning in a pretty, I think, high visibility place within law enforcement in Saginaw County, and I think that's important for us. Direct benefit is we're going to have that traffic grant money here. I anticipate I'll be able to sign another contract with the township so we can utilize them funds within all of Chesaning Township and the village, which again is going to keep them roads closest to us safer. And then the other direct benefit is because the way the grant is written, we get 5% of it to reimburse the village for the time that I use for maintaining the grant. The more agencies I sign on, the more hours we request, the higher that number is. And I'm still not finalized the number. I'm waiting for one more agency to give me their financials so I can finish out the grant. But we're looking at that amount, if we use it all, as far as my administrative costs, is going to return about $4 or $5 million back to the village reimbursement from the grant for my administrative time. As far as the department activity, the one thing I do want to highlight there, someone decided to drive past one of my crossing guards while they were actively stopping traffic and letting students cross at 4th and Grady. We tracked that person down and we wrote that person a misdemeanor ticket because not on my watch. Other than that, pretty much status quo of the complaints we're taking here in the village of Chesaning. Questions?
Nope, you're doing a good job.
All right, thank you.
Well, also the shower's almost done. That's great.
Well, no, it's done.
Oh, it's done.
We're just waiting to move the lockers in now. The lockers is complete.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion made, supported to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those against?
Any relation to Pat? No. Thank you, John.